All right, welcome to the Relationship Show. This one is on you can't influence someone that you are judging. So, like in relationships, you might see people who really are poor at relationships. Or you might see another guy that's like considered like what they call like a beta male or whatever. And then on the other side, you might see someone who's like an alpha male and you're totally judging them. But if you're in that judgment position, you can't really influence someone. And it's really, who are you and who am I to put judgment on, how someone's living really. I mean, for instance, in my life, I grew up with role models that totally were like male figures that were like super pleasers and stuff. And so I actually grew up in an environment like that, and I was myself was like that for a long time. And throughout that, it seems like we live like different stages and different kind of like almost personalities. I think we keep a lot of our personality, but we kind of go through stages throughout our life. And looking back, when I didn't know anything about women and I was in like that super pleaser role, it was like, I had a lot of good times back then. And, it was like my values were just a little bit different. And for instance, like I went through like this happy stage where I was like always smiling and stuff, totally ineffective with women. Like if you come across as too happy and too nice, then it's like, you're not really perceived as strong, even if you are strong and you are strong. But some of those some of the happiest moments of my life was when I was just like always in that positive mood, always in that smiling mood. But I wasn't effective with women at all, really. I mean, if I ever tried outside of like a party situation or some kind of situation like that, I was rarely successful. And so it's like, yeah, now I might not smile as much as I did back then. I still like to keep that positive attitude, but not to the extreme I did back then. But I get more results now with women and with, other aspects of my life. And so it's like, who are we to judge where we're at this chapter in our life? And as far as like influence, it's like, to really influence someone, it's almost like you have to let them influence you, and you have to be open. Because if you're like, well, no, you're wrong, and this is how it should be, because in this stage of your life, you're after this result, whereas in their stage in their life, they might be after a completely different result. And so it's like, just be aware of that and just be open to what people say. So, I mean, it's like if they give you an opinion, you say, oh, really? Actually express that, because express their opinion as valid. And if you express their opinion as valid, then, they'll express your opinion as valid. And, you can work together at that point. It's not just a relationship where like I'm in charge and you listen to me, and it's more like a team. And that's really what you want to make in a relationship. So it's not just about, I talk about like feminine and masculine energy, and the masculine man should be in the leadership role, and the feminine woman should be in like the, I guess you'd call it a follower role. But just the man is more in charge. And even though you do have to like implement some of like the strength, in order to be in that role, you are a team, and you have to respect each other as valid. You have to still care for each other. It's not about, oh, I'm the one in control because I care less about the other person. It's like, some of that is useful, to maintain, your polarities. But on the other hand, it doesn't mean that you don't care about the other person and stuff, and you're not, like pitching and catching with the other person and throwing ideas and growing together. And I think that growing together is a lot about what relationships are for and about.